mess with people a lot? And what's one of your most memorable moments that you've had where you've had somebody on with whatever you're doing good at?
Well, unfortunately, they haven't been happy things, because when I mess with people out in the world, they misunderstand what I'm doing. It's so far out of context. I was just on 7 Sharp the other night, and they put me in a video game store, and they expected people to recognize my voice, because it's in the context of being in a video game store. You would think that people would hear something, and even if they didn't recognize my face, they'd go, "Oh yeah, you're that guy who does it." Nothing. They didn't connect with anything I said or did, and it was kind of shameful, actually. But what I have done before is I'll go into a toy store, and after each one of my toys will come out, after I've voiced the character, I'll go and buy it for my collection. And I was in this toy store in America called Toys R Us, and I found a little character that I'd done. I don't remember what it is now, but for the sake of now, I'd say it was a Digimon character. And I walked up, and this little kid, who's probably about 4 years old, had this character in his hand. And I thought, oh great, I'm gonna go get my character, and I'm gonna say something to this little kid, and it'll be a fun thing for him, nice memory. And so I walk up and I say, "I did the voice of this guy." And the kid goes, "Oh, Mom!" He was terrified. He ran over behind his mother, and his mother, I thought she was gonna beat me to death. She took her purse, and so that was a memorable moment for all of us, and mostly traumatic for him, and I almost got arrested. But that's about how far that goes. I've ordered fast food before as crazy characters, and that never goes well. I just imagine they're gonna spit on my food, so I just expect to throw it away. Yeah, it doesn't go very well in the big world. So, yeah, not as well as you think it would anyway. Here it's fine, everybody can deal with it, but yeah, they're just scared. Okay, who's next?
Yeah, hey mate. What was your first gig, and also what did you want to do when you were a little kid? Was it always voice acting, or?
No, I had no idea people could get paid for voice acting. I thought I was going to be a million different things like most people. The one that I locked into in high school was oceanography. I thought I was going to be an explorer. And I went to school and realized how hard it was and how difficult the math was that was involved in chemistry. And then I thought I was going to be a doctor, because my father was a doctor, and also could not handle the academia involved. And with the voice acting thing, I fell into that quite by accident. I was thinking I was going to be a musician. I was playing for an R&B band in the 80s, opening for heavy metal acts. And I was hated a lot because people didn't want to hear that back then. And so for about 6 years, I played in the band, and I thought I was going to be a musician, and it just didn't work out. And I had 3 jobs because I was just trying to support myself to do my music. And during the day, my day job was working in a mailroom at a low-budget film company. We made movies like Reanimator. I don't know if you've seen that film. You guys seen Reanimator? I worked for that company for 14 years. When I first started at that company, I was in this mailroom, and everybody there was an actor, except for me. And the guy who was the head of the mailroom was casting an anime called The Guyver, and he needed some creatures. And so I had the deepest voice in the mailroom, and so he said, well, why don't you come out and do a voice for us? And I said, well, I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. I was terrified. And so on the weekend, he told me he'd pay me $7 a line if I would do it, and he'd feed me free breakfast and lunch. So being a starving musician, I thought that was a pretty good idea. When I went in there and I looked at what was going on the screen, I thought, oh, I can do that. I do that all the time. And so I just watched the screen as this big creature growling, and so I went, and he goes, okay, you're hired. So I started doing voiceover. I had no idea. And he gave me a speaking role on the show also. I became the main bad guy in the show. And for that, I had no acting training, so I was stealing from everybody else who was working on the show, who was an actor. And just watching what they did and trying to copy it as best I could, and made them as evil as I possibly could. And I just had a natural ability for it. And so it took me about 10 years before I was really confident. And I still had 3 jobs during that whole time to nurture that career, because you can't survive on voiceover work. And one day I found myself at that same company. I was an executive at the company. I was head of marketing, traveling to France and doing all these great things, and I hated it. And I booked a commercial, and I thought that this was going to be it. This is going to make me rich and famous, and I could leave my job forever. And did the commercial, and then the union went on strike, and I was out of work for a year. And I clawed my way back and found that it worked out. And so here I am 20 years later, and I'm doing it full time. It's wonderful. I never look back. Uh-oh. Oh. See, this is what I live for. Oh my God, thank you. She's amazing. This is Grunt from Mass Effect. You guys know Grunt? Yes, I love this stuff. This is why I'm in the business. I don't care about all the glory of Hollywood. I have 3 shelves of toys. Anyway, did I answer the question? I think I did, yeah? Okay. It's a very long-winded story. So anyway, thank you. Who's next?